And we're live.
I feel like I should do some kind of like joke about like some like silent era version, right? Or
Yeah,
whatever.
we should.
Okay.
Yeah, we should perfect our pantomime so we can have a whole separate show behind this countdown.
Show behind the show.
All right. Yeah. So we're starting off with this. Yeah, little countdown till we start to get that
the room tone, right.
and the trucks driving by. All right. So how is it going? So yeah, we had a little bit of a skirmish.
Yeah, skirmish. No one can see the table that we
Yes.
are playing. Like everything is set up on. But I had a picture of it where this is, like you said, the midst of the carnage of like our third turn of Mantic's epic warpath.
Yes.
Which is not a skirmish game.
Yeah, right. That's true. It is a epic scale, or a little bit bigger than epic scale, but a many forces. Like we played. What, 2,000? No, 1,500. 1,500, right. The range was, the 1,000 to 2,000.
Yep.
So we played 1,500.
On a 4x4 board.
On a 4x4. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so it was tighter. Yeah, so 2,000, I think.
I don't think you would fit 2,000 on a 4x4.
Yeah, no, I think that's true.
You
I
have
think
to go to the 4x6.
I think 1,500 is max, yeah.
Yeah, but kind of like we discussed. Okay, I guess we have other stuff to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I like the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I have like no interest in the lore, whatever.
Yeah.
When I look, I'm just like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I like the rules. I like that it's D8. There's like a lot of interesting stuff going on with like Fog of War, and I really like, as someone who has tried to like minimize bookkeeping in games I've developed and thrown out, I like the one hit and a base is off the table, right? It's just everything has one hit point. But I don't think I'm the target audience because when you abstract war games that we've talked about before, like it's really just a counter. But I see like no difference between a 1,500 point 40K game and a 1,500 point Mantic Epic Warpath game in terms of the number of bases that are on the table.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Visually, it's a different look when you have armies of like 12 millimeter or 10 millimeter troops versus a handful of 28 millimeter. But I mean, it's the same number of 30 millimeter, kind of 40 millimeter, 80 millimeter bases.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think that epic scale. I think the thing that it does allow you to do, kind of like Armada did for X-wing, is give you a scale that you can bring in these giant things that aren't going to be very giant on the table, but they're able to be produced. Like you don't have these like a miniature that would take up 2
Well,
feet
you do
on
if
the
you're getting worked up, right? You have those ridiculous,
Right.
ridiculous like Titan miniatures, right?
Yeah, so bringing down that scale allows you to like kind of ramp up the scale of like destruction. So when those like the super heavies will do insane destruction because they are so big. Like once you'll see the infantry next to those, be like, okay, this thing is terrifying. It's not going to be a terrifying piece of resin, but it's going to be in the scale of the game. Yeah. So I wonder, and we haven't gotten there yet. We played the game that we played was no super heavies, no deployment, no reserve deployment. So next time, hopefully, we'll get to try that out because I think that'll stretch things out even further. And I'm really thinking a lot about like reserve strategies and stuff. That changes a lot, you know.
Yeah. But I'll have to read the rules again, and we're playing with like version 1 point whatever of like the playtest rules. I forget how you set aside deployment, whether in like a normal game you would, because we rolled for the mission that we're playing. No, we didn't. We were told which mission to play.
Yeah, right.
But then you still roll to find out where objective goes and how
objectives.
scoring works.
Right.
And I think in a normal game you would also roll to see whether or not reserves are used and how they get used. So I wonder if this was like a tournament game or even just a friendly game, like how reliably would you be able to plan what would go in reserve? Or is that a consideration when you're building your list? Or is it just something that, suddenly now you have to make a choice about? I mean, both ways would be interesting. So I'm curious how it would play out. Again, I don't really think I'm the target audience because like I see like a giant 80 millimeter base with like this word and I'm like, man, super heavy. I'm like, I don't go, whoa, this thing's huge. And I'm like, kind of don't care. Right? Not that I don't care, but like, I like the shrunk down stuff to save space. And I'm like, here's this giant 80 millimeter base. That doesn't save space at all.
That's a really good point. They're shrinking everything down to just make it bigger.
Make it look bigger. Yeah. But I mean, like, it's epic style game, right? Like, it's giant armies as opposed to just like strike teams. Right?
Yes.
Same number of bases. The look visual is different. So I mean, I certainly understand why they exist, but yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
And like I said, I
right.
like the rules. I mean, they're pretty clean, and I like how it's most of the stuff is on the unit, right?
Yeah.
Like the unit has the score you need to roll under to hit, the score you need to roll under to wound something, and then something gets like a save. Like there's not a lot of. I mean, my weapon skill is this, which means I have to roll this. It's just the number.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not looking at any tables or anything, and I like that. And it's fun to see the rules evolve because we had like a beta almost, and then to see because they simplified some things, and it's like that of course that makes sense. Like let's limit the number of tokens. Let's keep tokens off the board as much as possible and make things work a certain way. So yeah, I think that was.
I like the Fog of War too.
Oh yeah.
Where everything gets a token, and you can choose to just put them all face up and resolve them one at a time, or you put them face down so that your opponent doesn't exactly know what they're doing.
And especially with your ability where you can reveal it, and then you'd be like, oh, but actually,
yep, you can swap stuff.
Right,
I mean, there's not like there's only 3 things you can do, right? Like advance, Overwatch, and sprint. So it's not like it's a huge surprise.
Yeah, it's not like suddenly explode.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. But so it's been fun so far. And it'll be fun to follow the progress to see them get to a polished state. All right.
Forge Fathers have just too many units, though.
Yes, and they got a lot of 8-up armor and 7-up armor,
which you got to roll on a D8.
Yes,
it's all D8s.
Yes.
What do you need? 8s off. Anyway.
Yes. All right. So let's get started for this week. Oh, let me just take a quick look in the chat. How are we doing? Oh, did you see? Was it Mork Bloodborg?
The Blood Bowl version of Mork?
No, it's a vampire. Bloodborg. Yeah, I think it just came out. I just saw it on some social media. Hey, Matt is here, wielding that wrench. Oh, anybody watching Fallout? Oh, Fallout started. Well, Walton Goggins is a ghoul in that, and I think he starts out. I think you see him as human, and then he's a ghoul, like the radiation guy. You didn't play any Fallout?
I have played 0 of those games.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting. We should both watch it.
Okay.
Because I played all the Fallout, and so see like
who hates it.
Yeah. But see, it's like this is not interesting. Right. Or you see if you need the game to actually enjoy it, or if they actually make a decent show without all being steeped in all that. All right, let's do this. Thanks, Matt, for hanging out and
bonking people with that wrench.
Yes. Let's do this. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Astroprisma crowdfunding, the Black Company RPG. It's been about 20 years since we've had one of those. Dimension 20 at Madison Square Gardens. Jesus. Gummyquest.
Yep.
And Champions of AI. Humanity's fight against the machines.
Valerian Jihad 2024.
And this is this is pretty close to being the instigating event. This is the Franz Ferdinand of AI. We'll get to that. So let's start out with Astroprisma. So they were in there last week. I should have mentioned them a little earlier. They're very interesting.
Hurry up.
Yeah. So hurry up. So follow that link. So I put a link in the description for the stream. So a solo sci-fi RPG about space exploration and faction conflict in a retro-futuristic universe, and really nice graphic design, really nice layout.
I've seen this.
Design.
It does look very retro. I don't know if they said like a cassette future but like that's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah, and it has like some of the inspirations are like Ghost in the Shell and stuff. So it has like a cyberpunk or a cyber world, like a online net running kind of thing. So the game is basically explore the entirety of a star system map. So it's a 36-tile hexcrawl to explore this kind of known area. So exploration, combat, and story events. So it's a deep hexcrawl, exploration, planet generators, diverse locations, environments, events and encounters, faction-based quests. So there's a bounty system, a changing story outcome based on what faction you allow yourself with. And the factions seem to have really nice, really different objectives and really nice variation. And then unique space combat and customizable spaceships. So basically the combat system they're talking about has hacking, implants, cybertech implants, customizable weapons, controllable mechs and drones, narcobiotics, and more. That sounds pretty sinister. So hundreds of different story choices give you different outcomes. And basically the 6 character origins you can choose are Eco-Terrorist, Astromancer, Glitchblade, Wirehead, Desperado, and Chrome Skin.
Okay.
And they kind of go all in. Like you can get just a digital, I think very cheap, like $15-20 for just the digital release of the core book to play. But then they go kind of all in with physical up to a deluxe. And I think even the top tier deluxe is like €70, and it includes the VTT for Alchemy. So you could actually play a digital version with all of the art, with the little animation and the ship maps and stuff. Yeah, by yourself. Yeah. But there is a cooperative. There's a cooperative mode as well. So you could play multiple players. So they unlock posters and things. So let's the factions real quick are W.A.R.G, the West Anchor Revolutionary Guerrillas, an insurgent group, basically. Medusa Sector, hackers and cyber terrorists. The Intersol Federation, kind of the de facto trade authority. Corsairs Syndicate, which are a rogue federation of smugglers, outlaws, and bounty hunters. And then the Synth Arc, which is a quasi-religious organization made up of androids and transhumanists. So, yeah, real different. Yeah. And so that would be interesting because your approach is going to be different based on who you're allied with. And so they're printing physical kind of journals to track your game with. So kind of like a black and white kind of workbook journal type thing. And then also some trifold adventures. So specifically expanding, like giving you different adventures, and probably you'll have a different approach based on what faction you're allied with. So they're producing those as trifold pamphlets. The book itself, details on the book, I think it looks like it's going to be a smaller, like one of those kind
digest
of B5 kind of digest. I'm not sure if it's hardcover or not, but it looks nice. The artwork itself, at first I was a little turned off because I was like, oh, is this the fakey anime thing? But it's Spanish designers, maybe Spanish publisher that's doing it. So they it's got definitely reminiscent of some kind of cyberpunk anime look, but really nice graphic design and everything along the lines of a lot of zine type RPGs, and they state like right up front all their influences and stuff. So so this is definitely worth checking out. And they're using Beyond Cataclysm to fulfill, and then backer kit once the campaign ends. So I think it reaches all the usual places, and I don't think it's going to be a huge amount of shipping because it doesn't look like even with everything all in, you'll still be in an envelope. So check that out if you're interested in something a little bit different for your solo play.
Solo games, I always kind of wonder about replayability, but it sounds like between different factions and character types, there could be a lot here.
You could get a nice variation. So so I'll put a link to that. And something Matt actually pointed out.
Ooh, okay.
The Black Company is back. So a role-playing game is in development by ARC Publishing, the guys that do Delta Green.
Okay.
So that sounds a bit promising. So the last time we saw the Black Company was just a D20 campaign setting that was published by Green Ronin, part of their Mythic Vistas series. And that thing is like $250 if you'd like a copy of it now, because it was printed 20 years ago. So that was a $45 back in the day, 320 pages of black and white, basically the D20 system, a Wayne Reynolds cover, and basically, oops, sorry. Yeah, sorry about the buzz. But they said a lot of, if you don't want to play 3.5, basically, you can play it's very useful, the background setting and world information was very useful
for that price though.
I know. Right now. So it's hard to find. I don't think it was printed in large numbers, so it's very rare 20 years later. But press release by ARC said the Black Company is returning. So they don't have a firm release date, but they're announcing that it's in development. So Shane Ivey and Dennis DeTwiller are co-authoring it, and they're co-authors and publishers of the Delta Green role-playing game. So yes, the lady is back. So this is, if you don't know the Black Company, it's a unique dark fantasy setting. So the novelist Glen Cook, who's a veteran himself, wrote with this from the perspective of ordinary soldiers. So it's a group of mercenaries that are kind of your main characters. So it's dark fantasy because it's blurring. They're actually working in most of the people in the world see these guys as the enemy, see these guys as bad guys because they're just mercenaries working for this Dark Queen. And this RPG will be officially licensed by Glen Cook.
Okay.
You'll play as an elite mercenary company with continent-spanning wars and desperate raids, rebelling against the Dark Empress, who employs the company, or the war between. So it's basically a war between evil and far worse. is what they said in the press release.
Okay.
So it's from the perspective of the soldier's experience in wars and adventure in heroic fantasy. So he wanted to kind of take his, experience and knowledge as a vet and put that into a fantasy setting and it really does. It feels so different from other things you've read, where it's not just like, scrappy villagers getting together, or gold hungry, cutthroats, whatever. Yeah. Getting involved in exploring. And previously, along with Delta Green, they've also produced Godlike and So the quote from one of the designers says, "I've been enthralled with the Black Company since the first books came out. This is a thrill of a career. We're writing the fantasy game that we've always wanted to write." And then Shane and I have long considered creating a dark fantasy game, and Delta Green always wanted a twisted, crazy little brother. So the Black Company is a perfect fit. So they're going to be designing, so there's a little FAQ on their press release. They're going to be designing a whole new game engine for this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was my question. But then based on that kind of quote, I just thought, okay, it's going to be using whatever system Delta Green was on. I actually don't know what that is, right?
Yeah, right.
But if they're making a whole new one, okay, fine.
Yeah, because I think it has to serve, a different master. So,
I think you mean Dark Empress.
a different Dark Empress. Yes, and so they'll be releasing a core book and then adventure and source books, expansions of the Empire, and each of I think the world kind of expanded and different opportunities were kind of opened up in the subsequent novels for the Dark Company. So things do evolve. People are defeated. Empires, are kind of rise and fall, and so that will be part of the lore and the background. So they're kind of talking about going through each of the novels and having those source books, and maybe they'll even name the source books after the novels if it's officially licensed. So you kind of know what you're dealing with time wise.
I was going to say, Star Wars does that. The new kind of Marvel game.
Yes, right.
Does that, right?
Yeah, gives you So they don't have a firm timeline. It's in production now, and in the meantime, of course, it's a press release, so they say check out Delta Green, of course, because we're still producing for that. So yeah, that's been very successful for them. So that's not going to. This is not going to interrupt that production. But yeah, it's a very interesting setting. I think it would be really fun too, because if you enjoy playing with antagonism between players, like players playing off of each other and tricking each other, like practical jokes and harassing each other. There's that dynamic is in the book, where there's just like this relentless jocularity between the mercenaries, and that can be disruptive and get you into trouble, but it's also like this bonding thing. So I think if you played any games where you like that kind of interplay between party members as part of the role play, this setting is good for that, because the novels really had a lot of that and really play that up. And also then the company kind of breaking up,
right.
Company kind of members going off and coming back, and so there's a lot of interesting storytelling in the way this is focused on the soldier level.
What I'm hearing is don't play this game with certain people.
Yes, there are certain people you may not want to play this game with. Yes, and especially people that are worried about alignment systems and things.
Well, I was more like jocularity, practical jokes, harassment in the game.
Yeah, yes, not
at the table.
Right. Yes. Yes, definitely. But and check that out. I think the books are pretty cheap. The ebooks and everything are pretty cheap if you don't have any experience. And I think there's also audiobooks in various places if you want to check out Black Company to get a little taste of this before it comes out. Yeah, and so like I said, it's been 20 years since there's been an official. I don't even know if that Green Ronin one was officially licensed. But then since we've had any sort of campaign setting based on this, so it'll be good to see that return. Oh, and there is, if you've got a regular group, and you're already very interested in this, there is a sign up for playtesting. So Arc Dream Publishing wants playtesters, so contact them, and they'll reach out when it's at that state of development. So yeah, so I'll put a link to that as well. All right, so we had Critical Role at Wembley Arena in the UK. So the Beatles and Critical Role shared a stage, whatever.
Neither of which I very much enjoy. That's
the connection. Oh no! So you're an Elvis girl? Is that what you're telling me? Oh no!
No.
You got to make a choice. There's only two options.
Those are the only two options, yes. Right? Then I abstain.
All right. So yes, Dimension 20 Gauntlet at the Garden. Great. So they've already started planning. Planning their this event. Pre-sale tickets are going on sale April 12th, which would be today here, but maybe tomorrow for you if you're listening to this as of this recording. So yes, Brennan Lee Mulligan will be heading up. Will be behind the DM screen with their group of intrepid heroes. I don't know this cast, but I'm sure some people do. So this is like the Pepsi of what Critical Role's Coke. Yeah, they're like the second place
Any
most popular.
Can be directed to Jeremy on that one. Yeah.
The second most popular, or maybe the new Coke. The second most popular AP, I guess. Yeah, but a lot of maybe their regular cast members. So yeah, D&D actual play series, but they focus on. I don't know if this differentiates them. Dramatic and humorous storytelling, professionally edited performances, and improv chops from its full cast. Because everybody loves improv. There's no greater art form than that.
Well, I mean, we're talking about role-playing games here, right? Role-playing games do require true. Like improv, right?
But as a pure entertainment form, it's pretty low. Pretty low. I think
complaints can be directed.
It's right below mime, I think. But anyhow, so New York City. Oh yeah, so they're doing. So they have this regular, seasons of this regular campaign that they're doing. The Unsleeping City, I think, is their setting. So they're turning this into, or I guess the Unsleeping City is their fantasy version of New York.
Okay.
And they have found a secret borough. It's the 6th borough of New York City, which, of course, is a home to the Fey courts and magical beasts and folkloric legends, from Santa Claus and the personification of the American dream to famous composers like Stephen Sondheim. Sondheim. Sorry, I'm not a... Yes, I'm not. Okay. Anyhow, so yes, they and the party members will include all of the characters that you love. Oyama's charismatic firefighter, Ricky Matsui, and Wilson's Kingston Brown, a nurse who serves the city's vox populi. Beardsley's drug dealer turned dream liaison, Pete the Plug. So those characters are all going to be there, waiting for you in fantasy New York City, the fake courts and the 6th borough, versus Santa Claus. I think is the exciting part, because I think the timing is going to be
Christmas.
Yeah, around the season. Yeah, so this is a one-shot adventure. The Unsleeping City already has 2 existing seasons. It's of course the second most popular tabletop actual play in the world. So they only get Madison Square Garden, they don't get Wembley. Sure. So the performance will be recorded and posted on the Dropouts. I guess the name of the group is Dropout folks, on their subscription-based service at some point after the show has aired. So yeah, the pre-registration has started, or pre-sales have started already, and January 24th they have booked. So next year, 2025, you can watch Dimension 20 at Madison Square Garden.
You know what? Okay. Like, I've said any number of times before, I don't really understand the appeal of APs. Okay. I do understand the appeal of APs. The thing I look for in APs is how to play a game. So, kind of the cult following of cast members or characters doesn't appeal to me.
Right.
However, as we were kind of discussing prior to the cast, if you are able to work yourself up into a position where you can actually sell tickets at Madison Square Garden for the thing, props to you.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. No, that's quite an accomplishment. And I think, it speaks to, they know that there's an audience there, and they know there's an audience that will travel to New York, all the headaches of booking hotels and things in New York City to try to go see this. So, yeah, it is impressive that, and it's, I think, what they've tapped into on the internet with streaming these things is a devoted or a rabid fan base that is going to support them, and it's not going to be somebody that's, let's check this out, that's I like this season but I didn't like this season. Like, it's going to be people that really wanted to dig into that, and I think it's alternative media. It's like we've got video game streaming, we've got all kinds of things that people like engage with now. It doesn't have to be a sitcom or a streaming a serial drama or anything. Yeah, it can be improv with Santa Claus. Who knows? But yeah, so nothing in that sounded appealing, but it is impressive. The scale of their success is impressive, and yeah, they're going to have some sort of cage match to decide once and for all who is the best actual play.
Some of the discourse I saw around this revolved around the price of the tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. I think someone, I forget who, had a pretty decent point where it's like, I'm sure that the tickets cost kind of what they cost for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels a little bit like people are willing to shell out large amounts of cash to watch performers play games, but don't pay the same amount of cash to the creators of the games themselves.
Oh, well, that's a good point. Yeah.
So I'm certainly not saying that people who run APs don't deserve that money, because I mean they are performing and that's a job and they're doing all this stuff. So like it's well deserved, but
yeah, and
maybe it's just not as noticeable, right? Like it's kind of like it's like a book signing. Like if someone tried to sell out Madison Square Garden as like a game designer, come listen to my thing about how I decided to run or design this game, and like crickets, right? Right.
And I think that's what the OGL debacle was about. Is Hasbro and then of course WotC got into their got into their heads that like, wait a minute, there's people that are selling out Madison Square
Garden.
Garden.
Money on the table.
Yeah, we want a piece of that, and so that's they were trying to like push that license. Like, that's gonna, if you're making over $10,000, for an event, we want a piece of that. They were trying to figure out a way, and there was just no way, kind of legally within what people would accept as a user license for this game system, that they could do that. But I think they're very frustrated that doesn't.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
that doesn't do anything for them. They can license video games, and the companies pay them $500,000 in licensing fees with a successful video game, but a successful AP using 5e, nothing.
What? I guess. Yeah, sure. I think what happened is like any company with like shareholders goes, we want money. Where what WotC could have done is like, wow, you're like selling this thing out. You know what? You are free advertising for our game. Yeah. Why don't we work together to like, how about like you let us use your characters and like we'll develop like storylines or adventures, right? Hey, did you like, I don't even know, Fox McKenna? Well, like here's the official source book, right? Kind of thing. So
yeah, I think they're just so much worse at promoting than these actual plays. I think Critical Role and Dimension 20.
Well, I mean, Hasbro keeps like slashing its fucking staff. So who's left in the market?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I think that they don't have anything to offer. That they the only deal that they can make is, hey, we own this. But that's all they can do, because they can't promote better, they can't get better engagement, and they can't even probably make better products. We're going to see, like, for the quality of, like, Darrington Press, the stuff that they release for Daggerheart, and like, I'm sure the quality of those books is at least as good or surpasses what WotC puts out. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I think it's always been the danger. They've known that from the beginning. You only have to buy the 3 books, and then you never have to buy anything else again if you're going to use your own imagination, your own setting, your own.
Why would you use your own imagination when we have so many setting books and all this stuff? Like,
right. And revive the classic adventures. Yep. Yeah, so it's very very interesting that they're going to be continually frustrated by this, and I think we should just take advantage of that, and everybody should be playing Madison Square. Just a whole week of actual plays. All right. But if you're not satisfied with doing that stupid thing, and you actually want to play, a game at a table, here is an alternative way to play a tabletop role-playing game.
I'm here for it.
Embark on a tasty quest. So 25 unique gummies that will unlock a world of magic and adventure. So Chris, take your taste buds on an epic adventure with 25 unique flavors of fantasy gummies. So one box at an insanely reduced price on this crowdfunding campaign will get you 150 plus gummy adventurers, monsters, potions, and dice. I don't want to roll gummy dice. And take your tongue on a flavor-packed gummy journey. So this is all verbiage from their campaign page, which is hysterical. So we just had, last Last week we talked about the Doppel. So this was another tabletop accessory, which is a $150 miniature that has LED screens on two sides, and when you like put it down, it like, you know, the little speaker like digitizedly screams your battle cry, and it, you know, and it lights up when you have a condition, like if you're poisoned or whatever, it's green in the base. So that was the ridiculous accessory from last week. This week it's Gummy Minis. So yes, and they have wonderful things like bitter lime slimes and raging fires of dragon fire inferno, which I guess would be cinnamon. I don't know,
maybe
something. But yes, and of course they're saying this is an unbeatable value because you'll never get this price again for a box of Gummy miniatures. And the flavors will include orcish creamsicle, paladin pina colada, owlberry, and death. I don't know what flavor death is. Maybe it's just arsenic flavored. I don't know. Death is a flavor.
Licorice. It's more anise.
Right. Yeah. So the thing that it seems a little difficult. I guess the players are going to get to eat all the gummy. I mean, basically the DM gets to eat maybe 4 to 6.
No, just run the funnel.
Yeah, just run the
funnel. Now I'm hungry. Just run the funnel. You're all dead.
I'm getting hungry. You're all gonna die. Yes, so and you can embark on this mouth-watering adventure yourself, and they give you 3 easy steps on how to use, and it doesn't really
open package, put in mouth.
Yeah, right. It doesn't really make any sense, and you don't want to do it on a humid day because things are going to get sticky and melty. And
unless, okay, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like shark bites in like the 90s, like that. Were like the gummy like it had like a kind of like a coating or a texture. Like it didn't melt or get sticky, but anyway, yeah.
I wonder if they had to do that. That might be true with these because to get any kind of detail in a gummy, I think you're going to have to use a stiffer type deal. But yeah, this is pretty ridiculous, and so things have gotten pretty far.
Hey, is it more ridiculous than a little USB LED thing that screams your battle cry?
No, it's not. It's not actually worse than that. But yeah, this was very odd. So yeah, don't miss out. So do a search for Gummyquest if you're interested. I'm not going to put a link. This is too stupid even for us. But yeah, a big discount for a lot of gummies.
I can't not hear Gummy now and think it doesn't have THC in it.
Oh right. Oh. If they only, yes, we're available.
I am like 99.9% sure they don't.
The potions do.
I'm not saying that. Any and all complaints can be directed to Jeremy, right? I'm pretty sure they don't, but I can't hear the word gummy without thinking that now.
Yeah, that's true.
Although they didn't say the word edible.
Right,
No, yeah. Anyway.
That's true. Yeah, it's something they didn't think would be available in certain areas, I suppose. Yeah, you can purchase your. I'm sure head shops and like all those manufacturers are jumping on that right now. As soon as if this has, I think it was a successful campaign, so it's getting decent support. So they're like, oh, dude, we got to do that.
Of course.
There's 2 guys right now that are putting that together, formulating their hallucinogenic mind flayer gummies as we speak. But yeah, so Gummyquest is a thing, and it looks ridiculous. It when they're photographing it on grid paper with dice and gummy miniatures, yeah, it does look as ridiculous as it sounds. But if you got a sweet tooth and you don't want to eat white metal or resin,
neither of which are sweet,
this would be an alternative. All right, so finally we have our war. We need a bumper, I think, for this. It's getting so common. Our war against the machines. Yes, the Butlerian Jihad coming soon trailer. So a card developer has said it has paid an AI artist, in quotes, no names given, sure, $90,000, so $90,000 to generate card art because, quote, no one comes close to the quality he delivers. So this is just, and I think this is just like kind of trolling, kind of a baity kind of article, because these guys are so obnoxious in their approach to this. So a quote from the developer: "For us to get this with a team of traditional artists, it would cost us a lot more money and time." So the game we are talking about is Champions of Otherworldly Magic. Okay. And they basically said that their business plan here is a quote from them: "We pay our artists $15,000 per month for exactly 10 hours of work." And this was from a post. Per month? Yeah, per month. Okay. For a post on X from their the TCG account for this game. Why? In that time, he still makes hundreds of amazing bits of artwork astronomically faster than any team of traditional artists. His artwork is 100% AI generated, yet it has no extra fingers, no generic designs, no mistakes. It has consistent evolutions, skins, alt art styles. Literally no one is on his level. We don't care how he makes it. We only care that the end user enjoys our game. So all this nonsense is coming from...
I haven't read the article, but I can't complain with what they're saying. They're just they just laid it all out. Right?
Yeah, this is what we're doing. And
this is what we're doing.
It's good enough. So, but the fact that they're like, it's amazing. When you look at the actual stuff, it's like, yeah, this is just...
Big titty.
They obviously... No. They obviously just fed in every trading card game, the art for every trading card game they've ever seen, because a lot of that, if you've got a digital version, you've got access to those digital assets. They just fed those in and puked that out, and that's why this company asks no questions of this guy, because they have no idea how unethical his technique is.
You do, because what did AI get trained on?
Right. So, CEO Miles Malik was speaking
you
to...
put your name on that, bro.
PC, right. Speaking to PC Gamer. So the artist has made over 1,000 images with generative AI art over the course of 6 months, was paid $15,000 each month, so he's up to $90,000. The anonymous artist has 15 years of digital art experience and doesn't... and this was the funny part. But he doesn't use social media, because no artists use social media. Why would you do that to promote your work? So this could very well be like a, back in the MMO days of gold farming, sweatshops. This could just be, a Southeast Asian Chinese sweatshop of a bunch of kids that they throw money at, that sit around, 12-year-old kids smoking cigarettes in their boxer shorts, working on AI art for a card game. It could be that level, because they ask no questions. So so he delivers that. And so they go on to brag about they have made about $500,000 in card sales so far. But the reason that they have made so much is because the cards are also NFTs. So yes, in case you thought mobile game developers weren't all garbage, yes, they're reaffirming your suspicion that these companies are just garbage. So all of the NFTs of this art, which is made from other people's art, can be traded and purchased with cryptocurrency. And then they also in the game sell gems, which can be traded for card packs. And
my question is, have they paid this artist with cryptocurrency?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, if they're already in that, I'm sure that's the how he was paid is with a 125,000th of a Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah. And but they're saying, just to if you're concerned about the quality, the AI can bulk work and do all the initial generating, but there may be some errors and things that they've all handled. So there's a little bit of a the artist is obviously he's actually like erasing the extra fingers or whatever. And if you look at the actual art, there's like weird claw and wing problems, that things that just don't make any sense. So it's not perfect, and the artist themselves isn't fixing everything. So if you'd like to see a full collection, I'm not going to put a link to it, but if you want to see a full collection of these champion cards, they put everything on the website, and I guess probably the price of the NFT. And you'll notice right away there's trouble with some of the number of knuckles on paws and things. And basically it does look like they took everything that's been produced for Blizzard and Riot Games and just shoved it through an AI generator. And they probably, because you can do that now. Like you can get AI generative art and then just feed it a data set. So artists can now do that and basically generate pseudo Pokemon or anything that they want, because they have access to those digital.
I hope that gets fed into the data set and it's just like human centipede this shit.
Yeah, right. So another I'll end with that, but
end with the shit.
Yeah, end with the worst part. Yeah, so basically this is just a guy doing AI prompts and they're saying so ignoring the skill and talent it takes to actually do this is insane. And just to say that this one person is generating these thousands of images, which would mean if you break down, if it's only 10 hours a month that they have to spend doing this, they're making about $1,500 an hour.
Yeah,
And the work is not worth $1,500 an hour.
It is to the company.
And that's the interesting thing, that as soon as I saw that, when you're breaking it down to the hourly wage, it's like, yeah, nobody deserves to be paid that for stuff that they're not even making. They're not even making. So expect this to be the peak. You're never going to see people paying, what was it, $15,000 a month again. This is the high water mark, and basically it's going to be down to about $100 a month, to do this kind of work. Like the bottom is just going to drop out of this.
There's two markets. There's two bottoms that are going to follow, like AI and crypto.
Yeah. So anybody can do this, so everyone will. So let's end with a wonderful challenge that the company has put out there. And the company didn't give the name of the company in the article, just the CEO's name. Yeah, maybe they're just named after their one successful game. So the company has challenged artists to complete a series of artist tests in 48 hours, claiming that anyone who could match the quality of its AI prompt writer will be considered for a job as his assistant. Yep. So this is just the trolling and big fuck you on social media, just to probably get some attention for this game, because it'll make people, if it's free to download, make people, oh, see what this is like. Yeah. And they might catch a couple of whales, but that was just pathetic. And the more that people show their hands about how little they care about, what they're paying for and how this stuff is generated, we just want to have the cheapest graphical interface for our fuck you algorithm that we can, that we're putting out there. That's all we want to do. So we're going to be honest about it.
I take back my, at least they were honest about it. Take it back.
Yeah. So it's brutal. So sorry. And so the Black Company was the brightest news of the week. So unfortunately, Gummy minis and,
Gummy and Mini's at least funny. And crypto or NFT bullshit.
That's true. That's true. But that's pretty brutal. So we'll keep you up to date, and I'll work on a bumper for our Butlerian.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna day that 48 hours.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I can't wait to be this guy's assistant. He might pay me $10 an hour. So that is all for this week. So where can people find you?
On Blue Sky and Instagram, where I'm finally gotten back to little 6mm Xenos rampant stuff.
Oh, nice.
So cool.
Excellent. And I finally streamed again this week.
Nice.
So Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. So I draw my single panel gag cartoon. And you can watch that happen, and I'll eat some snacks. I had some premium haichu from the community, so it was amazing.
So the drawings were a little wonky this time.
yes. So a little.
That's good enough.
No, not too high. Haichu, the
Starburst,
the Japanese Starburst.
Yeah,
but these were good. And if you'd like to read that cartoon, GoComics.com is who has it. So GoComics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
By going to patreon.com/upturntable. And there you can support us at any tier, even as cheap as $1 if you just want to see what's going on, or just want to yell at us privately, to scold us privately. And so support anything we're doing, and give us kind of feedback of what you want to see on the weekly and other stuff you'd like to see on the channel. We're still figuring it out. It's been 5 years and we're still not quite sure what we're doing.
Progress, yeah.
Yes. And upturntable.com is the website, and then Upturntable on all social media. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to get notified when we go live. Or this live.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're moving stuff around.
Where they move stuff around. Yeah.
That's right. And we'll be doing the live stream tomorrow for our next session of Dune, the 2D20 RPG. And so subscribe to get notified for that, and give us a like to help more people see what we're doing here on the weekly, complaining about algorithms. Yeah. So that's it for this week. We'll see you next time.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. All right. Hey Matt, how is it going? Yeah, so what's the Fallout series on? What platform? Is that Amazon? Amazon or I haven't seen any. It's weird because I haven't seen any promotion for it pop up. I've seen some trailers recommended on YouTube, but that's cool that it's out. And I wonder maybe it's delayed because I have to subtitle it and stuff. Maybe it's delayed in Japan. Oh, Amazon. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, I'm curious to see a Walton Goggins ghoul. He's good at playing tricky characters, so that should be cool. Oh yeah, the Orient Express board game. That's right, the Call of Cthulhu board game. I guess that's doing really well on crowdfunding. Nice. Yeah, so I sent an email. Gave them my email for the Black Company play test, so we'll get notified when that happens. And yeah, we got to try that out. Definitely. Yeah, especially if they're doing their own, if they're going to do a unique game system for it, because that then we'll be able to handle. Because I saw a few people in various places kind of questioning what would be the best system to run. And I guess Blades in the Dark, what is it? Forged in the Dark, or the if you're just using their engine, Band of Blades, seems like people were talking about that seems to have that would have a nice, although it is that system, so it's simplified to just quests or a specific battle or a specific mission. It would be very mission based, but yeah, people are talking about that is probably the best system so far. So I wonder which way they're going to go. If they're going to go with something very specialized, so you just you're getting assignments from whoever you're serving, you're getting jobs and fulfilling those contracts, or what they're going to do. But yeah, should be really fun, especially when there's passionate designers. I mean, that's the nice thing to see, is people that are passionate about a property and want to do it justice and let people play in that world. Like, give people the ability to play in that world. Nice. Oh yeah, so Matt says you've been to Madison Square Gardens. Yeah. So for hockey and boxing and stuff, it's huge. But they may be able to. I've heard comedians talking about if they play there, they can kind of not do it in the round, but kind of block off seats and stuff. So it's probably going to be that, because I can't imagine they're going to get 30,000 people or whatever, 50,000 people, whatever it can hold in there. Especially just the getting in all those people into New York City. So I imagine that they're going to have one of those kind of blocked off kind of layouts. So they'll probably be playing a quarter of Madison Square Garden, but we'll see how they do it. Yeah. So we should, I think right now, since Chris brought it up, we've got to get in contact with some dispensary or some company that's already distilling THC and Troika, right? Troika-based gummy minis that are infused, that'll make the game even more surreal. So I think the gameplay will be much better. Yeah, you would never get anywhere. You never make it past character creation. Everyone would just be so freaked out. Wow, how many sides do these dice really have? Oh yeah, thank you, Cy Matt. Yes, definitely no replayability with gummy minis. That's true. Once you've defeated everyone, I guess you win. That's the only RPG campaign you're going to win, is if you're only using gummy minis. Once you've eaten the dragon, you're done. And I think it sounds like just a troll job. This AI artist with no social media, he's just sweatshopping this stuff, in the digital sweatshops of China, just like they do with gold farming and all that good stuff. And they're doing it in the least ethical way possible, by probably just feeding it specific assets of stuff they want their card art to look like, because that makes it so much easier for the AI to have fewer options and knows exactly what style you're going to want everything generated in. And yes, they capped it off by selling everything as NFTs. Nice. Flashes. Okay, so the Fallout flashes back and forth to some interesting lore building. That's cool. Because I like that that was the thing that I liked the most about Fallout 4, the most recent one before 76, is you played a little bit beforehand and running to the shelter kind of thing. It wasn't like you're born in the vault and grew up there. They gave you a little bit of the before world, complete with like door-to-door salesmen and everything coming to your door. So I liked that. It wasn't very much, but I liked that. So they'll have some stuff to do. So pre-war and then post-fall of the California Republic. Cool. Yeah, I'm curious if it's good. I hope they do a decent job of. It's not. I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun post-apocalyptic setting, and it's like taking from a lot of sources, but it has enough of its own. Like if they captured the weirdness, like the kind of weird tone of those games, especially like the later games where they got a little, I don't know, where they're a little, not quite parody, but there's a little bit of a weird edge to them with their like super patriot robots and the kind of stuff that that they did. It might be fun for a show. If they take all that out because they don't want to piss anybody off, we'll have to see. Oh, they did. Oh, good. Lots of dark humor. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm curious about that. Yeah, I think without that, it won't quite feel like current Fallout, because that's definitely the tone. And I guess even the tone of the early RPGs still had that as well. The isometric ones. Interesting. Yeah, so we'll get back to Dune tomorrow. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, not much else. Yeah, so we had our it was last night. It was Wednesday. We had I'm sure not last night, the night before. Wednesday night we had our epic Warpath playtest. That was fun. We're back with Dune. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we can all get back to it. And we'll have to see. I'm curious which direction things are going to go. There'll be a lot of stuff on the table, and I'll see which threads you guys are going to pick up. Nice. Yeah, so what's so I unboxed Longshot City, the Troika-based superhero game, and I liked the fact that, so in the introduction, I should have read the whole introduction actually, because it's a really nice piece on this setting could actually be played with any Troika setting. Like the idea of superhero has been so bound to comic books and the comic book tropes and stuff, but actually it's a much broader idea that's much more fun within that genre. And it's not, because they talk about comic book movies, but comic book is a medium, not a genre. But yeah, it's been kind of confused. The superhero genre and comic books have become weirdly synonymous in America, not anywhere else. But we just don't have, that's such an odd thing. And I think it grew out of the Hays Code was movies, the comic book authority code, that little symbol that you saw. So the censorship basically killed horror comics, and so there's basically talking like funny animals and superheroes were the only thing that survived that kind of censorship from the 30s and 40s that started then in America. And that was the end. Oh, what's the system like? It's exactly the Troika. So it's 2d6. So you're rolling 2d6 for everything, and then the generation is all random tables. So you roll d6d6s to like determine, kind of and so it's super fast character generation, and but it's the Troika 2d6 system. So very simple mechanics. And it looks like you're gonna come up with fun, weird combinations, and they give you enough of a setting where you've got the city, you've got Longshot City, and you've got the death of their Justice League. Like you've got these superheroes that got wiped out, and so that's where your characters pick up. So maybe you're another group, an up and coming group, or you've revealed yourself now as a superhero in hiding. So there's a lot of fun possibilities there. So very rules light. Very easy to play. Yeah. So if I heard too, I just saw that update. I'm not sure how far they are along, but the character sheets are getting more customizable in Alchemy. They're getting more. We'll be able to generate our own custom character sheets, so that will give us some nice options for other games to play that may not have official support for a while in Alchemy. Because I'm getting frustrated with the connectivity of Foundry. So I log into it, and it's all fine. It's all green and everything's working and it's available online. The port is open for you guys to log in. But I think what's going to happen with my ISP is I'm going to work, I will put a lot of assets in tonight, and then my ISP is going to see that port open as some kind of problem, and then they're going to block that on the router, and then when I go to share that server with you guys on my Saturday, your Friday night, it's going to be blocked again. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't think there's a way that I can run Foundry offline, because everything I'm doing is all local. I'm not uploading anything, so everything I'm doing is local. So I'll get everything in place, and then I'll test it. If it's not connected, then I'll do that thing where I upload it to the Forge, and you guys can play on the hosted. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of their. They've been doing a lot of updates, so we gotta check out the state of Alchemy, because I think that's going to be a nice default if we can figure out good ways for people to watch, either on streaming or log in on Alchemy. That kind of stuff would be really fun to figure it all out. But yeah, very cool. So yeah, this month is going to be busy, because everything you see here has to be boxed up and moved to a different office. So we'll see how that goes. You'll see how sore my back is. But it should be good. Once we get set up, there should be more space. And I'm worried a little bit about the recording. It's a bigger space, so I'm worried the sound is going to be a little more echoey. But it's higher. It's a higher floor, so maybe further away from street noise. So hopefully, except for the loudest ambulance or whatever, or pipes on someone's bike, someone's motorcycle, we'll not hear too much. Yeah, same building, just moving on up. We're like the Jeffersons at this point. It's not a deluxe apartment, but it's the penthouse technically, but it's a tiny building. So we'll get we'll project a spotlight out the window with the upturned table symbol, so you guys know. You'll be able to see when we're streaming. All right, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I hope everything goes well tomorrow, technically and story wise. But it's always a mystery whether I'm going to be able to connect or not. Yeah, so we'll see what to do. Anything else? Yeah, so we got a minimum of one game a month for Epic Warpath. So we'll keep doing that. Because right now, and I can just show you. Yeah, right now we're just using we're doing the base sizes and just kind of marking them with little colored stickers. So because the thing that you have to do that's kind of built into the rules is make sure that everybody understands what's a unit. So you need like an inch separation if things aren't distinctly identifiable as separate units. If they're the same type of unit, you can have them close together and confuse people about what's what. So we just did colored stickers on bases and didn't like get the 3D printer out or anything to get too complicated. The Facebook group is going crazy doing STLs for tokens and things, but Mantic's going to be producing all that stuff, so it's a little bit of a wasted effort. And it might be the frustrating thing is I'm worried that's going to be a little discouraging for people to support Mantic by directly buying things. If you already made your homemade tokens, you may not buy something from them, so that's just going to be lost revenue. I guess though it's only 100 people. It's the playtest group is only like 150 people, so it's not huge. So it may not make a big dent in their overall customer base, but hopefully that's the case. Because I was just surprised how many people are, and I guess it's just enthusiasm. It's like fan art and stuff. You want to support the game and what's going on, but when you're doing something that actually like competes with what they're making, it's like, Thanks for the enthusiasm, but yeah, I don't know. Matt, do you think? Oh, let's see. Oh, you went and saw Dude 2 again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really want to see that. I really want to see it again before it's gone from IMAX. It's so great in IMAX, the feeling, and especially because I saw, I think maybe I talked about this before, but I saw the worm riding scene 3 ways. The first way, they threw it up on YouTube as a preview, and I just watched it, I think just on my PC monitor, with decent sound though. I've got a nice sound system on my PC. And then I saw it after they re-released the Dune Part 1 as the special thing, a special preview that they played after the movie. So they did the exact same, it's the exact worm riding scene that was already released on YouTube on the big screen, on IMAX, the big screen, but the sound mix was different. It was, and maybe because after I'd already watched the movie, maybe I was just used to it, but the sound mix didn't feel as intense. And then seeing that scene in context in Dune Part 2, the sound and everything, and I think a little bit of the editing, there was something that grabbed you a bit more of that scene in actual context. So I'd actually seen it twice before, and I knew exactly, kind of, visually what was going to happen. But the way that the sound was treated, and it had an effect, and I was surprised. It's like, I've already seen this even in the theater before, but in context, in the full sound mix of the final film, it was really affecting. The sound of the thumper, and then the whole sound of the wind and the I guess just the motion of the sand and everything was really, really intense. And I thought that's the same thing of the ornithopters and stuff. They're so much more intense in the theater, and I don't think you'll ever be able to reproduce that in a home theater without getting the police involved. But the IMAX sound, it really, really does make that nice and intense. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And the choices I thought were interesting, were good. And because I think they talked to the writer, and basically I'm spoiling it. If you haven't seen it, don't listen. Shut your ears. But I'll just make it more general. The Aaliyah choice was, they said, very logistical, because where they were filming and how they were filming certain scenes, they thought it would be pretty traumatic to have a child of the appropriate age doing that. So that it just kind of eliminated a lot of kind of logistics and difficulty of getting that on film, and not doing the CGI character, like the obvious digital character with a weird voice, and that thing's not really there. So they did a good job for the most part, making a lot of the use of CG not so it felt very physical and real, most of the things in that world. So that would have been real. It would have been like Tarkin in Rogue One and stuff, Governor Tarkin, or Grand Moff. How that Peter Cushing fake thing was ugh, that's a waxy nightmare. And okay, yeah, it's the best you can do. It's impressive. I'm sure all the CGI artists are falling all over themselves for the eyelash technology is so impressive, but it really takes you out. So I'm glad they chose not to do that, and everything was real. Spielberg said the Paul Worm riding scene was one of the best sci-fi scenes he's ever seen. Yeah, it's very, it really gets you. It's they do a really good job with that, and it's so funny having it spoiled, seeing it previously, still in the theatrical experience, in the context of that film, it's just like the Gom Jabbar scene. It just has a really great build, kind of emotional build to it. Works really well. So I think I suspect that it, because the sound is different, or at least I was just hearing it differently at that time, but it felt a little different. But the editing, there's some interviews online with the editor for the Dune movies, and he's a musician. I think I've already talked about this, but yeah, previously. So he's a musician. So his editing style is very musical and very rhythmic, and you really feel that. Like every time I put the first part on, and if it's like on some streaming service and I'm somewhere in the middle, if you just jump into that story in the middle, already you can get into the rhythm of what he's doing. So when any of the non-speaking scenes, like the scenes with the ornithopters, or even the attack on the palace, the Harkonnen attack on the palace, that kind of stuff, that's really great rhythms in that editing. And this is once you get into the rhythm of what he's doing with that cutting, it's hypnotic. It's really you don't want to stop watching it. It's very good. Yeah, and I think that was an important scene to get right, the worm riding scene. I mean, because anything would be better than the green screen, than the Kyle MacLachlan green screen with the black and white safety ropes. Yeah, the worms. I mean, the worms looked good. The puppets that they used in the 80s ones, I liked how they looked. I've always liked the version, but they can't composite them in well. There's just not a good way to do that. It needs that movie. I don't think there's any motivation to do that, but that movie needs a kind of cleaned up edition where they go through and color grade and color correct and try to get things looking a little more there. But yeah, that's a huge scene. But yeah, I can't wait. Have we officially heard part 3 is happening? Because I heard that there was, it hasn't been greenlit yet. They don't have a script yet, so I hope it's going to happen for sure. It has to. I mean, I think it's one of those rare things that won't diminish. Like the sequels won't be less and less. It'll actually, get more and more attention. So by the third one, I'll probably have the bigger audience, kind of like, Breaking Bad or whatever. Like people didn't catch on to its existence until the later seasons, and then the last season, everybody was following every episode. So I hope, Dune ends up like that. Oh, great. Yeah, it'll be good. Good to see that, and good to see that the choices that he makes, like if it's going to end with Paul, spoilers, walking out into the desert, or what they're going to do, like how they're going to show the kind of the fall, if they're going to skip over the whole jihad, I guess they're calling it the crusade, the whole Fremen ravaging of the known universe, and then the situation after that, the aftermath of that, or what they're going to do. And there's also some, Messiah even already starts with some weird stuff, the little dwarf guy, and there's some stuff that is going to be odd, to film, because so he'll have to make some choices about that. And already I guess it's still possible, but there is, in the books, Chani has a son, or Chani and Paul have a son already that gets killed during the conflict, the Harkonnen, and they didn't do that. That's why Leto is Leto the Second, the worm, the God Emperor, is because there was already a first attempt at a son, and so you don't have that effect of that's Paul's selfishness and obsession with taking the throne, is that he put Chani and his son in danger, and his son gets killed in the books. And that doesn't exist. I don't think that's going to... I don't know, because they left it at such a strange and different... such a different situation than the end of the Dune novel. So I'm curious where it'll pick up. And they'll finally have to show a guild navigator. That's right. Yeah, because they may even... Depending on how they're going to open it. If they open like they do Dune Messiah, that's one of the first things you're going to see is the secret meeting. Or I guess no, Messiah starts with a prisoner interrogation, right? Yeah, I think there's like a prisoner interrogation that kind of gives you, exposition dump, and then the scene with the plotting. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. to see. I think I trust the director and the writers so far with what they've done. It's very different. It's different from the books, different from the 80s movie, but everything's going to be different from the 80s movie because that movie got really screwed over as far as the story it was able to tell. But yeah, looking forward to it, and looking forward to our Dune tomorrow. Nice. Yeah. Smart choices and amazing visuals. It's so worth seeing his films in the theater just because of some of the visual shots are just breathtaking. They're really, really amazing, and he uses things so well. That they were talking about the way that they got some of the really interesting effects where they're not compositing, they're not having to composite everything. There's not green screen behind everybody. They actually figured out that they could shoot with sand screens. So they put sand color barriers around things that they wanted to mask out. But then what happened was, because they're dealing with the desert sun, it reflected the right colors of light, onto the physical ornithopter, cockpits and stuff. And they were still able to mask things out. And that's why so often you're seeing so many kind of dirty layers of glass and stuff when you're seeing somebody through one of those windows, is because they're taking advantage of how these sand-colored screens were reflecting on the physical sets, or the physical objects they were using. I thought that was very, very cool, and you really feel that things feel really there. You don't ever get a super. I mean, some of the crazy fighter chase stuff and everything gets a little heavy CGI, but it still has that stuff still feels real. It still feels like it's there, not like a totally different scene. But yeah, can't wait. But yeah, we already had an extra long wait for both of those movies, right? Yeah, everything got delayed. The first movie was delayed, and then the second movie they pushed it back because of the strike. So hopefully no more strikes or anything in 2 or 3 years. We will have another Dune. Nice. But yeah, well, cool. So yeah, anybody interested? Yeah, look for us streaming about this time tomorrow for some Dune. Hopefully, technologically, it'll go well, and we can have a nice and smooth session. It might take me a little bit to get stuff imported if the sharing fails. We'll see. All right. Well, cool. So thanks, Matt, for hanging out. I hope the last session wasn't too big. The Great Breaching, maybe. I don't know. You may have a fetch quest coming. Somebody may need some special coffee before the breaching. I always wanted to try that Fremen spit coffee, the Duchess says, and she sends you on a quest to Arrakis to get the Fremen spit coffee. Yes, so we'll see. Great Breaching, question mark? Yeah, I gotta be careful with my titles for the streams. Maybe, possibly. Depends on if you play your cards right. I don't know if you roll to successfully send out all of your, you stamped and correctly addressed all of your invitations. We're going to do a whole seating chart and addressing envelopes mechanics, and then we'll see if we get to the Great Breaching. All right. But yeah, so tune in tomorrow for that. Otherwise, let's see what's going on. Yeah, so just keep an eye on the channel, and we'll see what... Yes, we'll see what goes up. Nice. You have to generate that. Yes, it's the Imperial tracking mail tracking system. It's very complicated. You guys don't realize the CHOAM the CHOAM people, the CHOAM company has gotten everybody involved in this complicated postal service that is actually, it could be a whole session within itself. It's just generating the tracking numbers. Yeah, you're gonna have to do, kind of customer service. Like, I didn't get my invites. Is there any way you can comp us at the door? It's gonna be thrilling. All right. So yeah, tune in for that. It'll be on the same channel, and yeah, Twitch, YouTube, and X, and Facebook is where you can find that. The weirdest possible places to put an AP. But we're looking for new homes for streams. So we'll see if we can find something that's a little more friendly. I don't think Kick is our new home anytime soon, unless I'm gonna do a little video slots or poker while we're waiting. All right, so everyone take care, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.